Hello, peepsy doodles. Alrighty, so why am I so freaking zoomed in? Can you actually zoom on a video? I don't think so. Okay, sorry, I have a new phone and I'm working on it. Anyway, so today I wanted to continue my advice for the new witches series and go forward with crystal advice. This is one that I get almost more than any other topic. Especially when I ask for video requests or I get questions about them or anything like that. So yeah, I did this video once before and it ended up being like 17 minutes long. So I went through and just jotted down a couple notes of things that I want to discuss so that I keep myself a little bit more on track. Please understand that this is not the one-all be-all of crystal advice, but this is something that can easily get you started. Oh, no wonder my goddess statue keeps falling. Pyperh kitty and all my stuff. Where are all my crystals, Pyperh? Alright. Anyway, so let's get started. So one of the biggest pieces of crystal advice that I can give you for starting out with crystals or being a new witch or anything like that, even if you're an advanced witch and you've been a pagan or a witch for years and you're just getting into crystals, is to know what you're buying before you buy. You know, don't just go to a store or go online or anything like that and just buy a bunch of shit because you feel like you should have it all. You know, I have so many crystals and I really only use a select few of them often. You know, it's nice to have them around for other uses, and that's kind of what I thought, but you really don't use them as much as you think you're going to, especially if you don't know what you have. I know there's a lot of times where I'm like, oh, you know, I wish I had this, and I'm like, oh, I fucking do have that. It's up in a, you know, up in my little crystal caddies, and so really understand what you're buying before you buy and know why you want it. So, you know, if you're first starting out and, you know, you really want a quartz crystal point, that's an awesome way to start is by getting clear quartz because it can be used for absolutely everything. This baby right here is candle quartz and I absolutely adore it. But any of the quartzes, you know, amethyst, rose quartz, citrine, and clear quartz are fantastic ways to start. And then to add on to that is to get to know them. So once you purchase a crystal, you know, really spend some time getting to know that stone. You know, so that in the future when you say, oh, I really wish I had this, you know that you have it because you create a relationship with that stone. I think I've told you guys before, I have crystals that I keep in my bedroom. You know, I have a huge chunk of tourmaline that I keep by all of my electronics to kind of negate all of those negative electricnesses. I lost the word. But you know, all of the, why can't I freaking remember the word? It's gone. It's gone. But anyway, I keep that by my phone. It's between me and my phone when I sleep. I sleep with a heart moonstone that I got from Evan, and her name is Phoebe. And then I have a blue gold stone, and her name is Prue, and I sleep with both of those. I've got a huge chunk of rose quartz that I keep by me to keep love in the room. You know, I have certain crystals on my altar that are there for specific purposes, so, but you know, I really spent a lot of time getting to know those crystals and what they did for me in order to utilize them the way I do. So that's important to kind of, on one of my very first videos I posted was the 3-day crystal challenge. That falls perfectly in this little statement right here. So the next one kind of follows along with the other ones, but the next point is to do your research, but more importantly, write down your own feelings about your stones, because that's what's going to be right for you. If you pick up one of the countless crystal books that they have out there and read that citrine is wonderful for sexual energies, male energies, carrying the energy of the sun, stuff like that. But when you pick up citrine, it's supposed to have like this high energetic vibration to it. But if you pick it up and the way that that stone interacts with your auric field is that it calms you or that you feel feminine energies from it, that's what you need to use that stone for. Not what is in the book. I know that that's really hard, especially for new people that want to be right, but what's right is what is right for you. And that goes for countless subjects, herbs, crystals, magic, spells, all of it. If it's not right for you, then it's not going to work for you. Pyperh Kitty, thank you. Yeah, so I mean, if you're trying to use a stone like blue calcite, or celestite that is supposed to be wonderful for calming or for connecting to spirit, and you just don't feel that, like you hold that blue calcite and it just makes you energetic like you're on caffeine, then that obviously isn't going to work for you. So really spend some time when you're getting to know your stones writing down how they affect you, because it's going to be really important when you go back to use them at a later time. Now I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about the uses of stones, because that is one of the biggest things that people ask me is, I'm sorry, I can't remember who it was that asked this a while ago, but they said, with crystals, I see people collect so many, but what do they use them for? And that's a very valid question. So, uses of crystals that I jotted down in a short amount of time, and there are infinite uses. If you can imagine it, it can be used that way. But you can carry that on you. Now, when you carry a stone on your person, like I kind of mentioned a little bit ago, that stone has its own energies, its own properties. When you carry it on you, those energies meld into your own auric field, causing that energetic change in some cases. Some people don't feel the effects of certain crystals, which is totally fine, but that's another reason why you should write down how crystals affect you, because there may be some that just don't do shit for you, which is entirely possible. So you can carry them on you. You can carry them like in mojo bags, in your car, in your purse, just in your pocket. You can wear them on jewelry. You can put them around your home. Like I have crystals kind of spread throughout the house to bring certain energetic properties to certain rooms. They're also absolutely gorgeous, so if you want to set them out just as a display piece, you can do that. You can use them as protection. One of the greatest ways to use crystals for protection is to take black tourmaline and to put them in either the four corners of your home or the four corners of your property, because they help to negate and to keep away negative energies, negative entities, people that are wishing to cause harm. You can use them when you're doing cleansing. You can use like clear quartz or black tourmaline, like if you're going through your house and smudging. You can also use crystals in that process. You can use them for meditation, so you can hold them and meditate with them. You can use them in bath and gem elixirs. And on that note, please do your research before you use crystals in water, especially when you're going to ingest it, like gem elixirs, because the Mohs hardness has to be at a certain point. I want to say it's 5.5. But the Mohs hardness of the stone has to be at a certain point, because otherwise the stone will dissolve in your water, and you may lose your crystal completely, but also it may release harmful toxins into your water, and then you're going to go ahead and drink that. So, there's certain there's certain crystals, like there's sulfur. I have a piece of sulfur that's not really a crystal, but it's hardened. You probably don't want to put that in water. Same thing with any of the stones that have like that iron or that lead, anything like hematite or anything like that, you really want to be careful with. So if you're just starting out with gem elixirs or using them in the bath, I highly recommend keeping it tumbled, because some rough stones can release slivers, and so keep it tumbled. And keep it in the quartz family. Rose quartz, amethyst, citrine, clear quartz, anything like that is safe to use in water in baths. I know bloodstone is, because I use bloodstone in my baths. But if you're going to use anything else, you need to do your research first. You don't want to lose your crystal or get very sick because you use something in the bath that you shouldn't have. Yeah, so that is my little beginner video. I guess it was a little bit shorter than my previous one, but that's a little bit of information, a little bit of beginner advice. Of course, there's all kinds of advice that is out there for crystals and all kinds more that can be obtained, but this was just a little kind of bit of information to get you guys started. Now, I didn't mention this because I forgot, because I was just reading through my stuff. But when I mentioned at the very beginning about don't go just buying a bunch of stuff because you may regret it later on, you know, if you find that, especially when you're starting out, if you find that crystals later on don't really call to you and then you spend hundreds of dollars on crystals that you have all over your house, that you don't really know what to use them for, that kind of sucks. But one of the things is don't ignore your gut. So if you're walking into a store, you know, and you pick up a stone, and one of the things that I do with stones, herbs, books, anything like that, is if I pick something up and you get that tingle, and you'll actually feel some people, I do, like when I pick it up I might feel a little tingle, I might feel a little warmth, but if it's really hard for you to put it down, like actually hard, not because you just want to buy it, but like you get that feeling in your gut, like this needs to come home with you. It's kind of like you found a long lost soul that you just need to take home. Sometimes there's a reason for that, you know, and if you can't because you have, you know, you can't afford it, whatever, obviously that's totally fine. But that might be one of the stones that you should think about adopting, and then do your research and do your 3-day crystal challenge and everything later, because the universe has a funny way of making things appear when we need them the most. So a crystal may show up in your life because there's an aspect of your life that it can help with. So that's another little tidbit there. So anyway, I hope you guys like this video. I will continue with the new advice videos in the future. I think the next one I'm going to do is possibly herbs or divination or different stuff like that. So I hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you later. Bye!